You're crazy for not being scared. We're just freaking middle school kids a couple of months ago. I never thought we'd be in a life or death situation so soon. Hi, I'm Mike, here with Johnny. And you have joined us here in the Comics Corner. Today we were talking about Kohei's, I'm probably going to butcher this, Kohei Horikoshi, the author of My Hero Academia, came out originally in 2014. This week's book club book, we're to read the first 3 volumes. I think it came out to be about 25, 26 like chapters. So some hefty reading.
Basically the size of a Berserk Deluxe.
I was going to say, the size of the Berserk, but probably 5 times the dialogue.
Yes, actually. That's actually very accurate.
Yeah. So yeah, thanks for joining us here. We've got, out the gate, we've got Yo-Yo and Vic already here. Yo-Yo's saying, he's first, as always. And Vic says, I'm here for the weeb discussions and Johnny's himbo energies. We cannot escape it.
There you go.
But yeah, thanks everybody for hopping on out here. So far, I'd say for the review portion of this up front, Johnny, any thoughts on I guess we'll say at least the first 3 volumes. I think have you read more, or no? You've seen more in the show, correct?
Yeah, this is the first time I've read it. Yeah, no, I've seen the show through season 2, and I love the show. And the manga so far is basically the anime like verbatim. So I really liked it, but I would say I like the anime more because the fact that it's video allows there to be build up in ways that there's not when you're just flipping through pages quickly. Not that you're rapidly going through this, because there is a lot of dialogue, but I don't know. There were points in here where there was no pause. I know there were pauses in the show that gave it more feeling. So I definitely liked the show more, but this was still great. But you've never seen the show.
I have not seen the show
I'm
yet.
Interested in what you think.
So without seeing the show, and I heard, I think it was from Vic yesterday that the intro is pretty hype. I wanted to save that till after I read this. Yeah, I enjoyed the manga. I mean, obviously, like, it's funny, we were talking with Charlie beforehand, like, it is kind of derivative of, obviously, a lot of other, like, different shonen books, like Naruto or Dragon Ball, but, I don't know, I guess I'm kind of a sucker for some of that stuff because, like, one of my favorite mangas, or at least animes, is One Punch Man, and it had a lot of the same stuff where I'm just kind of here for, like, the villain of the week type stuff, or just kind of seeing a bunch of different, like, their fake world superheroes or villains, like seeing what their powers are, and that's basically all this is you know, we're living in a world where people have what are called quirks, and it basically amounts to like a superhero power, like almost like X-Men, like a mutation that kind of becomes emergent after, what was it, age 4, I believe. So yeah, it's, you know, you kind of grow into it, and not everybody has it though. They say, I think it was about like 80% of the world has quirks, so there are people out there who are just, you know, regular old Mikes and Johnnies out there.
What? I have a quirk. Did you see me sneeze 2 weeks ago? Or last week?
Yeah.
Or 3 weeks ago? It was a time travel.
Yeah, your quirk lets you, you sneeze through time. That's true. How could I forget?
Yeah. I gave myself a damn haircut. I sneezed so hard.
But yeah, so like it's seeing the different characters and the quirks that they have, and just kind of like in some ways like the villains and their gimmicks, and even just like the outfits. Like I kind of dig that stuff. Like, I mean, again, like we've read the first 3 volumes of, I think they're up to like 22 or something like that, 24. So like I was gonna say, like a lot of these characters, like they may even be just kind of like throwaway. We might not like find out too much about them, or we might not even need to, but just kind of like seeing like, oh hey, you know, here's this guy that looks like a crow, and he has like dark powers and stuff like that. Like,
dude, he's a bad
I was gonna say, yeah, we'll get into that, because I definitely like that guy. Even though it wasn't like as prominent in these issues, but
I was gonna say though about the costumes. This isn't the best picture of it, and I'm not gonna go digging right now. But Bakugo's, I think he's got
grenade hands.
Coolest.
Yeah,
I love them. The grenade hands. I think they look so cool. Actually, I was just looking up figures I want to buy of these before we got on camera, and there's a couple different Bakugo ones, but I only want the one where he's got the grenades on both hands. There's one where he has none, and then there's a figure where he has it on one hand, battle damage.
Yeah.
But no, I want both.
Yeah, exactly. Two grenades coming at you.
Well, and the way I really thought this was cool, that the suits, if they're built for like the students, they enhance their powers.
Yeah, like they
play with their powers.
They do talk about that at one point of not only were they kind of designed by the students and also like a committee, but they were used to kind of enhance or work around whatever, you know, abilities the characters had. So but yeah, I'd say that definitely I enjoyed it. Yeah, exactly. Left to right, please. But no, I definitely enjoyed it. It was fun. I'd probably continue reading it, and I'm definitely gonna at least dip a bit into the anime. I guess I did have some complaints. Like, I'm not the biggest fan of Deku. You know, obviously, especially in like the first book, he is very, you know, like I get that it's his character trait, and I'm sure, you know, again, we're at 3 of like 24 volumes. So, like, I'm sure there'll be like, you know, character you know, changes, and like, you know, he kind of grows and, you know, gets out of the kind of whiny phase of his life. But
I have a lot of comments.
Sure, go ahead.
So first off, I was curious if you were going to pick up on how whiny he is, because believe it or not, I think he's way whinier in the show. So
Interesting.
I was going to ask. I'm like, how do you perceive him?
Exactly.
Because I didn't think he was very whiny in this comparatively. And then secondly, what did you say right before that?
I think I don't know.
Oh, I know what I was gonna say. As far as the show, you know, where we left off in book 3, that was book 1, but where we left off in book 3 of 24 is like halfway through season 2, and they're only on season 4. So I'm like, in my estimation, they have to be way farther than the show. Right
Yeah,
now.
yeah, exactly. So
Like,
yeah, like that's
way.
the thing is, yeah, like I with stuff like manga like this, it's hard to like make a sweeping generalization of like characters or story beats that I like or don't like, because I'm sure at some point it'll change. It's not like a like our usual like reading a graphic novel or something that's a lot more self-contained where we see the full arc. But yeah, at the point that we had read in these 3, I'm like, as far as the main character, he's fine. Like they even say like he's kind of plain and kind of like just a general everyman or self-insert. So like he's serviceable, but I just wasn't that big on him. But again, maybe that's just me.
No, I agree. I like the supporting cast a lot better, but the supporting cast.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's where the money is. I've got a list here of some of these people that I want to talk about here. So we'll definitely get into that. And also real quick, Vic says the costumes and even the school uniforms are very cosplayable. I've already done Uravity. I assume that's also upfront real quick. I am terrible with names usually in general, especially like Japanese names, because it's usually like kind of either longer or more complex or not as common to an American like myself. So like I'm usually bad with names, so I'm probably going to use shorthands like Grenade Hands or
Gravity Girl.
Exactly, yeah, Gravity Girl. So Uravity, I assume is Gravity Girl. Correct me if I'm wrong, Vic. Thank you, Yo-Yo. Or if the names are French, yeah, I'm going to butcher any French names too that come along. But yeah, like it's, yeah. So pardon me for that. But yeah, like the school, yeah, the costumes are definitely, yeah. Like I'd say that's definitely one of the strengths of at least what we've seen so far. Like I definitely dig not only the school uniforms, like they're kind of like near the end we see like they're kind of more dress uniforms, and then all of their kind of custom made uniforms too. There's some pretty sweet ones there too. So.
Although Deku's mask originally, I think, is pretty lame.
Yeah, the weird kind of rabbity one. Like
Yeah,
I get that they do kind of address it in some way too. Of like it mimics All Might's like hairstyle, like in some ways too, and then the smile of like it's kind of clever.
They might mention that in the anime, the smile, but I don't recall them mentioning that. But so I didn't even notice that.
Yeah. I was gonna say like that's like it's a clever touch in the fact that it's like his mom's hoodie. Like I definitely like appreciated the look of it, but I just wasn't that big on it. But yeah, there's other characters that have some sweet ones. Which again, I don't know. Probably later I'll go down my list of. Maybe you can think about this too as we're going through, but I had written here some of my favorite students, teachers, villains, and then quirks. So
Eraserhead.
Exactly. Yeah. If you hit pause right there, you'd probably have spoiled it for yourself. But yeah. So I'm sure as we're going through, we might touch on those ones. But yeah, I'd say maybe that's it for the review portion. Like we definitely both enjoyed it. I'm probably gonna again stick with it, and if nothing else, dip into the anime. But and I think Johnny was obviously, because I mean you came from the anime, so you definitely were, I think, a fan. So
I can't believe, I mean this very genuinely. I don't think I've become as big of a fan of a franchise as quickly as I have with My Hero Academia. Like I don't even think I owned those DVDs until probably like a year ago. And like, I mean, I watched through them once and was like, "This is one of the best things."
Yeah. I mean,
I love it.
Again, without seeing it, like I feel like there's obviously a lot of potential for it, because again, like something similar to like One Punch Man or Naruto, like I think some of the fun is just, all right, here's a throwaway character that has like a cool power, or here's a new villain that has like cool stuff. Maybe we'll get like like a 1 episode backstory, and that's kind of it, and you can kind of like throw them away, move on from there. Like I feel like there's obviously some room for fun stuff like that. So.
Well, and I'm amazed, what I kept getting amazed by in the show, and I think if you kept reading, it'll do this in the manga too, is like, for as wide of a cast of characters as they have, they give everybody an opportunity to shine, and they take those quirks that are like, oh, how could that be useful, and show you like, well, actually, if you do it this way.
Throwing rubber balls at somebody, how could that ever come out?
And like, I know we mentioned off camera the Frog Girl, like, she's basically Toad from X-Men, and I think Toad's a lame-ass character.
Exactly, yeah.
And I think she's awesome.
Exactly, yeah, Froppy doing it right, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'd say, so there you go. Definitely recommend it. So if you don't want any spoilers, hop off now, but we're probably going to go into more of the kind of chapter by chapter, broad strokes.
I like the Babe advertisement on the back there.
Exactly, yeah.
Lady hair.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, now that you've trimmed, you can get some shiny hair.
hair.
Have you been using lady hair, Johnny? It shows.
It does, I know. Actually, wait, you know what's really funny? Is
Oh, yeah, that's right, yeah, we were talking.
Because I have the blonde, wait, I don't think we've talked
Oh,
about
no, I thought you were going to talk about the other product.
Oh, that stuff? Oh, I do have my hair stuff right here. Right here. No, I use, because I have the blonde in my hair and I care about my hair so much, I use a purple shampoo because if you have bleached hair, you're supposed to use a purple shampoo so it doesn't turn yellow. And that's the thing most guys don't know. And I can't even tell you, this happened with Royce, who works here. This is why I'm telling this, it's relevant. How many women in my life have started to tell me, like, hey, do you know what's really good for your hair? And I go, a purple shampoo. And they're like, you know, most guys don't even know that. And it happened with Royce, our coworker who does the Pokemon stuff. So if you dye your hair blonde,
Shampoo could come in purple? I didn't even know it could.
it's the most purple substance you've ever seen. I'm gonna bring it in tomorrow and you're
Sure.
like, that's the most, or Tuesday. I swear, you'll be like, wow, that's the most purple looking liquid ever. It's true. Johnny's Secrets.
Exactly, yes. Hair secrets. Vic says Mount Lady, and then a lot of exclamation points. She wasn't featured that much in there, but I seemed like a cool character. Basically, like Attack of the 50-foot woman, more or less.
Yeah, but she can transform, so she's basically Giant Man / Ant-Man if she can get smaller.
There you go, Ant Lady. The Wasp. But yeah. So let's hop into it here, Johnny. You can follow along here and show any kind of cool, relevant scenes here. Johnny's Secret sounds like an adult actor, to be honest, says Yo-Yo. Probably not too wrong. Those eyebrows can neither confirm nor deny. They're definitely not denying. So from the gate here, we get to see a young Deku getting beaten up by old grenade hands here. Young grenade hands. That is a theme that we are going to see throughout this. That is basically the main kind of conflict in this story. Among everything else is Deku and his rivalry with other classmates. But yeah, we see right out the gate kind of an exposure to the weird world that we are in here, because we've got, again, horrible with names, but you know, on the previous page we had the kids with their exploding hands, bat wings, and all that fun stuff. And then, yeah, like in the middle of downtown, we have a giant shark dude with some sweet dreads going at it with a bunch of other people, and also a lot of bystanders just kind of casually taking pictures and walking by it. So right out the gate here, we're kind of thrown into this fantastical world. So can't go wrong with that. And then from there, we do get, the backstory of more or less these exceptional individuals and the idea of quirks. And this is where they kind of mention that, like in recent history, there's been a rise of people with these powers, like being able to like light on fire, ice, telekinesis, and how it's become, fantasy has become reality, and we are seeing the rise of basically superheroes and also supervillains. Because, obviously in a world where if people got some sweet powers, not everybody's going to use it for good. So,
well, and I like that it's like somewhat based in reality in the sense that they live in a world where there's comic books, so it's like, oh my god,
they definitely reference like, oh, this is right out of the comics. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's not like a world where like everyone's like, what's a superpower? Oh my god. I hate them.
Exactly, yeah, like zombie movies where nobody knows what the hell a zombie is.
Yes, yeah. Thank you. That is the most perfect analogy for what I'm trying to convey. Yes. Yes, and that. This is not that. Thank you, Kohei.
Thank you, Kohei.
I know you're tuning in now, so if I'm mispronouncing your name,
yeah.
sorry, but, we always, usually, more times than not, we get the authors of the books we're reading to watch, too.
Exactly, yeah.
Get them commenting in this chat, because then everyone would just bother them. But we can talk.
Turning heroes into 9 to 5 versus exactly what would happen is what Vic says. Yeah, definitely. Like that's the thing. I mean, like I feel like we see it in this kind of page, this next one too, where everybody's fighting on there. This guy kind of dug a background character of the firefighter. I don't know if you've got him there on that page, but he's just kind of like directing traffic, and I like the idea of just people with their superpowers. It's where right at the bottom there. Yeah, just a dude with a sweet like fireman's hat, like, and using his weird water powers directing traffic. I definitely like the idea of people using their powers for like mundane stuff like directing traffic.
You know what I like that they mentioned? It's later in the book, but it's relevant to what we're talking now. After the villains first debut and they leave, and they're talking about the attack, the one guy mentions to the detective mentions to the principal or vice versa. He's like, "Oh, they have a transporter, and that's such a rare talent to have, or such a rare quirk."
Yeah. Teleporters are like a rare quirk to come by or whatever.
Yeah, so it's such a shame that it's a villain. And I was like, "Oh, that's." And then they talk about like the registration and stuff. But I thought it was cool that they acknowledged it, like, "Oh, certain skills are very like."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
like, sought after.
It's not wrong. Like that's the thing is in all this, like in X-Men 2, like there's definitely a hierarchy of powers. I think like whether it's I mean there is some subjectivity to it, but yeah, like if you had either like sweet teleportation powers or fire and ice and all that fun stuff, or you can make rubber balls, like there's definitely a disparity there. But
you ever see the Family Guy where they get superpowers? It's a really early one, and they all like roll, or they get nuclear waste on them, and they all get superpowers. And Meg's her only one, like her nails just grow.
Yeah, exactly.
And then she like scratches someone, and he's like, "Oh, that kind of hurt. It cut? No, it didn't pierce the skin, but wow, that kind of hurt a little bit."
Exactly. Yeah, like that's the thing is like poor
do you
people.
Want that power,
yeah,
exactly.
Or do you want, At that point, yeah, you'd almost rather have no power. But yeah, we've got a young Izuku Midoriya, aka Deku, his kind of bully nickname that he gets, kind of looking on in awe at this battle that's happening in the cityscape, and he sees.
There he's right there.
Yep.
In awe,
and exactly, yeah. There's that look of
that's
awe.
The awe. It's awesome.
And then we see Kamui Woods, who's apparently a kind of well-known superhero, fighting off the big shark man. We've got Mountain Lady coming on in, kicking.
Making her debut.
Exactly, yeah. They mentioned that, yeah, it's her first.
What an entrance. Debut should be spelled with 2 T's, because, that's what they're showing.
I see. Yeah, there's definitely it's not really as gratuitous. There's not really that much like fan service stuff.
No.
Yeah, like it's there's only a few characters that are seemingly like that, but it's kind of straightforward. If you're worried about your anime being too much of that. But yeah, then we see Deku just running off to school and kind of like trying to live his life with heroes in it, and we get to see his life in the high school where people are talking about graduating to UA Academy, the idea of UA High School, which is the high school for people with quirks that are basically on their way to becoming superheroes. Like it's basically the kind of like the prestige high school, like the Ivy League high school that puts you more or less on the fast track to becoming a superhero. And Deku is he kind of throws the idea that he would be interested in going there, but at this point he hasn't really shown any quirks. In this world, basically at the age of 4, your quirks begin to manifest, and like we said at the beginning, like about 80% of people have them, and he's kind of living a life of not having one, and it creates this struggle with Katsuki Bakugo, aka Grenade Hands. I'm sure we'll probably use as a shorthand there, but yeah, like we get to see him showing off his powers in class, bullying Deku, saying that he's a quirkless loser, which is a great insult, by the way.
Yeah, but wait, I wanted to mention.
Yeah.
When Deku is observing that fight before he runs off to school, he's taking notes, and he talks about like how he knows a lot about the heroes and their quirks.
Yeah, somebody even mentions
as soon as
like
he gets to school, he's like writing down what he saw, and basically he's compiled an entire journal or book series of like every superhero, like their habits, like their quirks, what
their
they
attacks,
do, everything. Because he wants to study this stuff to help him get into UA, because nobody without a quirk has ever gotten into UA, and that's what everyone in the classroom is making fun of him for. They're like, well, there's no precedent for that. And he's like, well, that doesn't mean it can't happen.
Exactly.
And that's when Bakugo gets pretty peeved at him. He just hates the idea of him trying to get in when he also mentions that he wants to be the only one from their school to go into that high school. He wants to be the only one. So
so whether a serious threat or not, he definitely sees Deku as kind of a threat to that, or almost an insult in some way of like, oh, you think that you could even try and attempt it. So Yeah, and then he does some rude stuff to our poor boy Deku's hero journal when he catches a glimpse of hero analysis for My Future, volume number 13. We only had to read 3 volumes. Like he's already 13 deep, so we're way behind on a lot of these heroes.
Right.
But he picks it up and he just explodes it between his hands and throws it out the window. Very rude.
Pretty solid artwork too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's a lot of great even the one a few panels later of Deku turning in kind of anger and rage. A lot of great close-ups. Vic says, "Oh, Bakugo, some therapy could have definitely helped him early." Yeah, it's funny they do even allude to that at some point too, as saying he didn't go through any quirk therapy when it was starting to show his quirks. So, a lot of anger management.
I think they were talking about.
Oh, that's right.
Todoroki.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it was Todoroki.
No, I'm sorry, not Todoroki. I get their names confused. Shigeroki, I think.
What's the ability?
It's the hand
Okay, there we
face
go.
guy,
Thank you. Yeah, I was
'cause
gonna say.
Todoroki's the half.
Yeah, I was gonna say bird.
Ice and fire guy. That's
wait.
not what I meant.
Okay,
Yeah. Well, when we get there, I'll forget his name.
And then I kind of like the very young Deku stuff. I like him just. that's my favorite.
I like when he's got the tears in his eyes.
I definitely took a picture of that
Did
face
you?
just to that is a good one. But I like because we get to see young Deku completely fanboying out like any kid would about All Might, who is kind of
he's the symbol of peace.
exactly he is kind of like the Captain America, or the kind of the ultimate symbol of, like Johnny said, peace, but also he is the hero that I think everybody kind of bases themselves off around.
I love when every time he enters somewhere, it's fear not.
I
Why
am-
you ask? Because I am here.
I am here.
I love it.
Exactly. Yeah, it instills confidence. He's not wrong. He is here. Everybody's safe. We get to see him Deku's rewatching an old film clip of him saving people from disasters.
Yeah, his debut when he first showed up and he saved 100 people in under
That
10
face
minutes.
under the page, I can't help it.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then this is also the point because again, at the age of 4, any abilities would have manifested, and Deku's mother takes him to the doctor, who gives them the kind of unfortunate news that at this point in kindergarten, everybody would have been showing their abilities, but he has not. And part of the interesting almost biological reason behind it is they talk about how in humans if they have a second knuckle in one of their toes, if they have that present, that means that that they are just a normie like all of us, no quirks, quirkless losers. But if they didn't have that would be more of a signal that they do have some. So
Yeah.
he's got the 2 joints in his toes, and that means no quirks for little Deku. And he is not happy to hear that, because at the end of the day, all he wants to be is his hero, All Might, but no superpowers for a boy. And then you get to see his sad face there.
Oh, the tears. I don't know how well you can see the tears.
Yeah, they're there.
But you could knit a sweater out of them.
Well, he gets his mom's hoodie instead, so I guess it's close enough. But
What do you think it was made of? So then it flashes forward to the current day when he's walking home after he got his book smashed by Bakugo.
mhm.
And who should pop out of the sewer behind him but a villain?
The Mudman. This
Clayface.
creepy, basically Clayface seeps through the sewers and tries to kind of parasitically attach himself to Deku's body. He just kind of jumps on him in an alleyway and tries to consume and overpower him. But fear not, kid. I am here.
Yeah, All Might's there.
Coming in with everybody's favorite, the Texas Smash.
I love that. All the attacks are
Exactly,
Texas
yeah.
Smash, Seattle Smash, Detroit Smash,
Mm-hmm.
Hulk Smash. I never even thought of that until right now. There he is.
But yeah, he makes
All Might.
short work of that Mudman, just punching him so hard that there's
Wait,
a
I love
shockwave.
this panel there.
Yeah.
With his
Just a huge shockwave, and his face just feeling those G-forces.
his cheek is so funny. His cheek's out to here, dude.
Yeah,
That's so
yeah.
funny.
I think I know where you're going for this. Thank you. He says, New York Smash. Hey, I'm walking here.
Wait, who said that?
Yo-Yo.
Yo, that was funny as hell.
Exactly. Yeah. This is what every New Yorker is like. But yeah, All Might saves the day basically as he was just on his way from doing errands. Like he was stopping by the grocery store, but still had time to say hi to a fan before he had to jump off. But Deku, seeing his his idol basically doesn't want him to go. He tries to keep time with him and literally latches onto his leg and goes for a ride as All Might kind of leaps across town onto whatever errands he's still doing. Which again, I like the idea of just superheroes got to run errands, much like One Punch Man. You still got to go to the grocery store and get some food. So
what do the members of the Jedi Council talk about when there's no Jedi business? What's their small talk like? I want that spin-off. Jedi small talk with Yoda and Mace. That's the show I want next to Obi-Wan. But after Deku latches onto him, we flash back over to Bakugo, who is getting creeped out through the sewer, and you're like, who the hell's creeping on him?
Yeah, we've seen
Which
this
doesn't
before.
make sense, because I thought All Might had our mud guy, trapped in that bottle there. It's in his pocket.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And then he jumps on him, and
Whoa.
the next thing we know, someone's creeping on Bakugo. And then, what the hell happens? The dude pops out and attacks Bakugo, and you're like, well, what the hell happened there? I feel like we need to be filled in on
What
some
did
details,
happen?
Mike. What the hell happened?
Real quick, Yo-Yo says, quick question, by the way. Would you guys have enjoyed it more if there was a version in color? Just wondering. I did see some panels. I don't know if these were just fan-made, but they were done in color. I mean, obviously, I get the idea of why mangas are done in black and white. It saves time. They're able to, get them out a little bit quicker, without the extra layer of having to do color. I kind of like having the color too. We talked about it with the Uzumaki review of at the start of every chapter in the Uzumaki, there was a handful of pages that were done in color, and they really popped, and it looked awesome in some of the worlds. It's not necessary. Sometimes I think it would help with. There's a few panels here and there, especially fight ones where it's kind of a mess and it's hard to tell what's going on to some degree. But also just I've seen images of the anime and stuff like that, so I kind of know what the colors are of people's outfits. But I don't know, it definitely helps to see kind of the authorial intent of these cool costumes and what color is Deku's shirt. That's stuff that I gotta know.
Yeah, I would definitely prefer it in color, but I will say that a while back they started re-releasing the Dragon Ball Z manga in color in these oversized editions, and although cool concept, the way they were digitally colored, there wasn't a lot of shadows and shading and stuff like that. It was really just here's red and here's
exactly.
green.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be anything that crazy.
Yeah, it kind of looked a little childish, like a kid just colored in a coloring book. So that it would have to be done right. But I would definitely want a colored version.
Yeah.
Because Davis and I were talking about it. They re-released Akira in color, and I think that had a lot more love put into it. You think about the colored pages of Berserk, right? There was some. Oh no, what did we reach that had colored?
No, yeah, it was Uzumaki. The first two
right.
pages of every
and those
chapter.
were the way it was when they weren't digitally colored. They were.
Because also that one was interesting too, because it was watercolored. It wasn't flat colors and stuff like that. It definitely adds to it too. So the way in which they color,
I would dig it.
Yeah, I would definitely appreciate it. Yeah, Vic says splash pages would be cool for important moments. Yeah, I definitely agree too. When we get All Might Texas smashing a dude, it'd be cool to see that one in colored. Yeah, definitely to accentuate it.
Well, and then the fights, because I was telling Mike off camera, the one fight that All Might has in here, I won't mention it here yet, but it's one of the best fights I've ever seen in any anime. Watching it, and the book just doesn't do it justice, and that's not a dig on this.
Yeah, there's definitely the pros and cons of the anime versus the manga.
Oh hell yeah, dude! I mean, the anime's fantastic.
Yuri says, I think it would appeal more to casuals. Yeah, probably, but I guess in that regard, I guess call me a casual. I definitely do like the added layer of colors, but again, not necessary, especially for a lot of the stuff in here. But yeah, I think Vic is kind of onto something of it would be cool to have certain scenes or moments be brought out in color to definitely add to it. So,
yes.
But yeah, we've got Deku back on the rooftop with All Might, kind of explaining, he doesn't have a quirk. He's a huge fan of All Might. Is there any kind of any kind of insight you can give to me on this? But we see All Might quickly turn into a weird, gangly-looking gaunt, almost like vampiric monster. I kind of dig the this version of All Might, like his like out of power All Might, his base form All Might. And I like his explanation of how people like holding their gut at the pool.
Yeah.
It's basically like that. Like he could small might, says Vic. Yeah, some might maybe. But yeah, like basically we learn here that All Might's powers, he kind of has to use at a limited time basis nowadays, after a certain fight that he had that kind of sapped some of his powers. Like he's only able to be like that full powered All Might, a handful of hours or for a few parts of the day, and it physically like pains and drains and like chips away at him. So he's got to put on a brave face, or he's always kind of like coughing up blood. But we get to find out that more information about him, and Deku is definitely taken aback by all this information. So
yeah, and we find out like how much it actually means to All Might to have his like appearance and his symbol means something, because if he's the symbol of peace and he's always saving people with a smile and he's always doing good, then evil can never win, essentially. Is like his view on it. So it actually really matters to him.
Yeah.
Which is like, I don't know. What I really like about this is like how serious they actually take themselves. It's not like a gag manga, which I really like. Like I really like. There's a few funny moments, but not, I don't know. It doesn't like derail from how serious it tries to be, and I like that. I respect it.
But then off in the distance, All Might or Small Might sees a fight happening. We kind of cut back to the parasite mud monster.
Oh, but wait, he tells Deku he cannot become.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
Deku asks him straight up. He's like, "I've always wanted to ask you," and he's like, "I can't answer questions." He's like, can I become a hero?
Please,
not a quirk." And he's like, "Oh no, you could become a police officer or something, but you cannot become a hero." He's like, kind of like when Yoda came back from the dead when Luke thought he was a Jedi. He's like, "Oh, not yet." Oh, and then and so that happens, and then he hears the boom off in the distance, and we see this is an awesome panel. It's very Akira-like. Speaking of Akira, Bakugo's been taken over by that mud monster dude.
And Bakugo, a stronger vessel than Deku, is able to kind of fight him off more and hold off as long as he can. More heroes are kind of showing up, but he's too powerful and nobody can really stop him. But fortunately, there's one man there who could try to help them. But
wait, as he's watching on, because Deku goes and runs after, he realizes that when he jumped onto All Might to grab onto his leg, he knocked the bottle out of his pants, and the bottle cracked open, got in the sewers again, and got Bakugo. So now, like, essentially he realizes it's his fault.
Oops,
his, like, selfishness, his, like, need to, like, see his hero let the villain loose again.
Exactly.
So.
Thanks, Deku.
Yeah. And so basically, like, how can he even be a hero if he can't even, he can't do anything right.
Exactly.
It's Peter Parker.
But worse. But yeah, so Deku just kind of like wandering by and sees the crowd over there, the crowd forming as he's slowly getting consumed, and everybody's just kind of like standing by, waiting for All Might to show up. Even the heroes are just kind of in awe. Nobody's doing anything, but there's one man who decides that he could try to help in whatever way he can, and that is our boy. Deku.
This may be the best like 2 pages of the whole book.
Very Akira-esque, yeah.
Yeah, so, Bakugo gives him that look, and he's like, oh my god, and he runs. So, quirkless little Deku.
Running on in when nobody else would.
Bunch of bitches.
There's a one for the day.
I'm allowed to say it.
Exactly.
And you know what? That's for you, Deku. I just used my one swear of the show for you.
And we're only on chapter 1 still, too. There's so much room for swears. But yeah, Deku runs in because, he felt like he needed saving. Nobody else was doing anything. It was just kind of an instinctual thing. Again, even though he has no power, and he basically almost lost to the Mudman monster anyway.
And there's All Might realizing.
Exactly. Yeah, he witnesses that happening, and he's able to.
Important.
It is. As he's Deku's also kind of getting consumed too in all this, and the heroes are watching on and running in. All Might kind of takes this moment, to have caught his breath.
You
Yes.
know, I gotta point this out because this was one of the few times actually that the anime had something that the manga didn't, and I thought it was important. You know how he throws his bag at the dude, the monster right there?
Yeah.
I am fairly certain, and maybe someone in the chat can confirm this, because I don't think I'm making this up. I'm pretty sure in the anime, in his mind, he references to his notebook, and he realizes that there was a reason he threw the bag at the monster. Like it was actually like one of his things, like that he knew about the monster.
The monster hates bags. Yeah, yeah.
No, like
Sure,
it would like
distract him in such a way.
something like that, but they don't say anything about that. They just show him throwing his bag at the monster, and I was like, oh, they should tell why he did that, because otherwise you're just like, why did he throw the bag?
I think that'd also be a very Deku thing too, of just kind of like, you know, acting on almost instinct, or just kind of like freaking out and panicking, and just kind of like doing what is a knee-jerk reaction to him, which is just chuck a backpack.
But he's real. But when he runs up to Bakugo too, you know, Bakugo's asking him like why the hell basically he came up to help him, and he got this really. I think it's important too, like him saying because it looks like you needed help.
I hope that doesn't come back to bite him.
Yeah, right. So that's the reason he went. And then there's All Might. This is really great artwork too here. All Might realizing what's going on again, and he's
seeing that things are about to, you know,
he calls himself
turn grim there.
Pathetic, and I like that.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, All Might kind of you know, bites his lip, quite literally in this case.
Yeah.
Transforms one more time, giving him the old Detroit smash, and once more the goop monster is kind of scattered to the four corners.
And he calls himself out because he says to Deku, the lesson I left you with, I should practice what I preach. Like, because he's saying you got to give your all and everything when he's talking about like being the symbol of peace. And here he was sitting back watching this kid get eaten because he doesn't want to transform, and then Deku runs out ahead of him. And he's like,
well, nobody else was doing anything. Yeah,
I'm pathetic. Yeah, and Detroit. And see, this is one of those moments where I'm saying like the anime, like there's like a dramatic like he has this thought, and you know it zooms in, and then it's him launching, and there's music, and then it's the Detroit smash is slow, and there's a power up.
Also, what color is the monster? Honestly, I picture him as purple. Is that?
I'm not. I'm gonna say like green, dark green.
I pictured him as I guess almost as purple as your shampoo. Yeah, just
almost
sentient shampoo.
Bye, Zach.
Bye, Zachariah.
Bye. That's Zach. He's part of our stream now. He works here too, and he was here for some reason. I wonder what he was doing.
Exactly. Yeah, weird. He was in that back room for a long time. Exactly.
Wait, was he back there the whole night, or did he leave and come back? Wow. You know why? Because he's a hard worker.
It's commitment.
And
yeah, exactly.
If Alan's watching, Zach works hard when you're not here, and that's good because I've worked not here. I've worked at other places where when the boss ain't around, the people don't work. Not at Pastimes. Not here. Not Niles. But it's a great shot, but it's not as cool as the anime, man. I'm telling. After we should watch a clip.
I was gonna say,
like an attack.
Thanks, Yo-Yo. Speaking of anime, Vic says, man, it was so long ago now. We need an anime watch party. And I was going to say, Vic must have had, they must have bugged the literal comics corner here, because Johnny and I were talking about that. If not something that we could do here, I mean, obviously, Corona, the events, too close, all that and the other. But in Discord, there is a way where we could kind of like share screens and watch stuff, and you know, just don't tell Kohei, but we might be able to, you know, watch that as a group at some point.
You know what we could do too? We could just do a watch party like they do on Twitter, but we'll like have a video version where like everyone's just watching it at home, and we all are like, all right, 7:01 in 30 seconds. We all hit play.
That's true too. Yeah, like if we all have it, like, is it on Netflix?
No, but it's on
Hulu or
Crunchyroll.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, duh.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
Funimation's.
Yeah, at that point, then it's up to you. However you acquire the anime.
We don't sell DVDs here, so I can tell you to look up stuff online and stream it. Like I can't tell you to do that with books. You got to buy the books. But
yeah, definitely. Yeah, like everybody. All right, everybody hit play. Not man.
Yeah, I mean, if we're off a few seconds, you know we're all.
I literally did that with friends in high school with Naruto. So it was like
see
exactly. Yeah, it was all just like all right.
And we're just like your friends in high school. Me. Yo-Yo, Vic and the gang.
Exactly, yeah, Vic and Chuck, the whole gang's
Where's
here.
Where's Chuck, dude?
Chuck said,
where the Chuck are you? I'm not swearing.
Chuck says they talk about how there's always a bigger fish. When this was back with when Goo Boy escaped. Hi,
Wait,
Chuck.
Chuck's here?
He was. I don't know if he still is. Yo-Yo's still here laughing it up. Always having a good time. But yeah. So yeah, point being, Vic, that yeah, we could definitely find some way in which we could all kind of sit down and watch the anime because I think that would be cool. Because yeah, like I said, I haven't seen it. We could get basically Johnny's director commentary during it too. Like, oh man, this is cool. This is the part where he punches him.
Yeah. Wait for the build up. Listen to the music.
Yeah, here comes
Feel what I'm feeling.
Here comes
Are
the
you
music.
feeling it?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like when you put on a song and you want the person to feel. You're like,
Yeah, exactly.
Are you listening?
Are you
to
as
this?
are you as hype as I am right
Yeah.
now?
The person's in the car, like, can I leave? I've never done that.
I was gonna say, yeah, boy, that's oddly specific, but it never happened. But yeah, so right after I like this part too. After the Detroit smash, he punched him so hard that the air pressure changes, and so does the weather. So he all might change the weather with a single punch. So.
See, yeah. I mean, this is cool, but the anime, I mean, just the word "boom." The anime, it's like
You can hear the boom. Yeah,
you
exactly.
can feel it through the speakers.
But yeah. So yeah, the Goop Boys scattered to the city, and Deku gets to meet up one more time with Grenade Hands, and they kind of confront one another for a brief moment before All Might runs on through "I am here" style.
Well, wait, we should
Yeah.
talk about what he says though. I
Mhm.
mean, because Bakugo is pissed, like
Yeah,
we said
yeah.
earlier, that Deku tried to save him, and he's like, "I didn't ask you to save me. I don't want your help."
Yeah, I didn't
He
need your-
feels
yeah.
like he's mocking him.
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna save me. I have this power. You're useless,
Mhm.
and you're gonna save me. I can relate to that.
I was gonna
That's why
say,
I like
yeah.
Bakugo, you know. But yeah, as soon as that happened, oh, and Deku mentions that he wanted to apologize to All Might, but he like ran off
Yeah.
like after, and then lo and behold, All Might pops in.
Skinny, small Might.
Not yet. He pops in as All Might.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but then yeah.
And then right there, mid panel, transitions to Small
Yeah.
Might.
Spitting up blood. And then yeah, here's where we kind of All Might, admits that he saw what happened. That like he ran in, that Deku ran in when nobody else would. He saw the kind of, I guess the instinct of a hero in there, and he admits to him, back there when I said that you couldn't be a hero, that that since you had no powers that you couldn't be a hero. He takes it back and he says, you can be a hero. And you know what? At that point, it felt like he was talking to me, Johnny.
He was talking to all of us,
Exactly. Yeah.
but really just Deku. But wait,
But also
Again,
all of us.
I'm not kidding. Like, I'm gonna. This is me spilling my emotions to the group.
Sure. We're here for it, man.
Dude, that scene in the anime is so powerful. It's one of a few times that the first season got me a tear up, and I'm not even kidding. I don't even care if that's embarrassing. I didn't fall on crying. I won't.
So yeah, I won't admit to that.
No,
But yeah.
no, but I totally it's amazing because
Yeah. No, definitely. Like it's.
and if you don't, I don't know. I think it's cool. I really liked the angle for as much as our buddy Charlie Chuck in the chat was saying earlier that it's very like other stories. What I like that I've never seen before was that it starts out with you going, well, wait, this guy is quirkless and he doesn't have power. Like, what the hell am I in for?
Exactly.
And then by the end, you go through the first episode, and I know that's different than the. Well, no, it's the first episode and issue are basically in line with each other.
They cut off at the same point. Yeah.
Yeah, and so you kind of go through it thinking what am I watching? I'm going to watch about a kid with no powers, and then you find out, oh no, actually, you can. And the last line of the issue, it's very close to how the episode closes.
Mhm.
I'm going to read it. It's awesome.
Please do.
It's Deku, and he says, "Fantasy became reality. I forgot to mention this, but this is the story of how I became a great hero." But in the anime, he says the greatest.
Ooh. Cocky.
But I like that it's
Yeah.
like I said, it takes you to the end of the episode before you find out that actually
Exactly.
That is the
There's
story
more
about
to it.
you.
Yeah. Exactly.
it's cool.
And then yeah, like I said, that's the end of the first chapter, not the end of the first book. Like I said, there's about almost 8 to 10ish chapters per book.
Yeah, there was a lot.
hmm But yeah, we kind
The
of
first chapter was also twice as long as any other one. I don't know if you know.
Oh yeah, it definitely was. I was gonna say there's a lot kind of going on there. Yeah, chapter 2 we kind of get more All Might explaining his quirk.
All for one.
Exactly, all for one, which is basically, I don't know if Johnny, if I'm butchering it, but he basically has the power of previous inhabitants. Like it's a power that can be passed on, a power of previous inhabitants that you can kind of summon up at once at the cost of kind of your own power in some way.
So what I've taken from it, and this is a combination of the anime and manga, is the first person has it and they have like an ability, they develop something with it,
Mhm.
and then when they pass it along, that ability is there, and then
Yeah,
you,
it
you
kind of
add on
it kind
to
of
it.
snowballs the
Yeah,
entire
and
way
now
down.
you pass on 2 abilities, and so like I don't know if they mentioned this. I feel like I think Deku's like the 7th person to have the power
Okay.
or something like
Yeah,
that.
I don't know if
think
they
mentioned
actually
that in
mentioned it.
here.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think it's something like that. And then see, I don't think they did this a few times in the anime when he uses the power. When Deku does,
Mhm.
there's this cool little like animation they do, and you kind of see like the silhouette of the 7
previous-
people who had it, or the
that's
6
pretty
people who
neat.
had
Yeah,
it
yeah.
before him. It's cool. It's all cool.
Exactly. Yeah. No, you're not wrong.
Oh no, it's not all for one. It's one for all.
Sorry. All for one and one for all.
But all for one plays a role later on. We should keep reading after the 3 volumes.
Vic says all of the Jedi are in Deku now. Not wrong.
Basically, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, again, this is a scene where you know, All Might explains that he's been looking for a worthy successor, and he might see that in Deku after the kind of heroism that he displayed in that kind of street scene. So
because he admits too that he himself was born quirkless.
Mhm.
He didn't have a quirk, and then
Exactly.
it got passed to him because of something heroic he must have done.
But the one for all power is takes a lot to use, and it needs a vessel that is equally as strong to kind of contain it. And here's where we get like a very
It
much
ain't all that easy,
Yeah,
as
exactly.
he says.
with this. I feel like this chapter is more or less just a Rocky training montage of
No, it's Karate Kid. It's the Mr. Miyagi. Like you're
I
gonna
guess that's
you're
true.
gonna clean up a beach, and then you're gonna be a great martial artist.
Exactly,
Like, that's
yeah.
what this is.
to do some community service while also getting swole.
Yeah.
Um,
And they show us. Yeah. So I mean, this is we can kind of just.
Yeah, I was gonna say this one's kind of a quick skim, but yeah, like he's basically trying to get him physically ready to not only be able to accept the power, but also to be ready to pass the American Dream. Well, it's his basically his fitness regimen is the American Dream plan, but to get him basically set to enroll in the UA Academy, because I believe it's within 8 months. That they'd be enrolled in there, so he's got, 10 months.
10 months.
Yeah, 10 hellish months that he's got to kind of, balance home life and school life while also trying to get strong enough to kind of, become the vessel needed to harbor the power.
One for all.
Exactly.
Yeah, and after so the day of the exam, because we're gonna skip ahead of there, he does all of his training, and 6 a.m. the day of his exam, there he is victoriously cleaned up the beach,
Yelling.
and we get to see how shredded he got, man. This
Exactly,
is what
yeah.
10 months of beach training will do to you.
Man, I gotta start. We gotta start doing our own American
Go clean
Dream
up.
plan. Exactly. Yeah.
Trust me, you'll be swole in 6 months. Do my chores.
I mean, if we clean up all these comics, eventually, I think that's going to be the case. But hopefully, we'll be that shredded.
Wait, you know what this makes me think of all the time, actually? When I was like 20, I worked out at a gym, and I ended up working with a personal trainer for a little bit, and the guy tried opening up his own gym, and so I was friends with him, so I ended up helping him move all the equipment and all the weights. Moving a gym's worth of weights, that was the next day was the sorest I've ever been. It was a better workout than what you do with the weights, because you're lifting and moving and pushing all these things at one time. And that was the point of like his
that
training.
full body workout.
Except I did it one time. He did it for 10 months. And so I didn't look like that after one day.
Also, hell yeah, Vic says Johnny isn't 20 now.
Wait, who said that?
Vic.
What? I sneezed, you remember? I'm still 20. That's what the sneeze
Exactly,
is
yeah.
for. Wait, were you in the chat when the sneeze happened?
No, the sneezing. Where were you?
Sneeze heard around the world?
Exactly.
You should check into that. It's
I was
all
gonna
over
say,
the
yeah.
internet.
Yo-Yo could probably drop in the chat the clip. I don't have access to the clip right now, but it is a good one for at some point to pop in there. But yeah, All Might is impressed by the fact that in 10 short months he stuck to the plan. There's some bumps in the road, but eventually they cleaned the beach. Deku got stronger. And to kind of commemorate this, he was going to bless him with a strand of hair to help him to kind of encapsulate the
Oh,
power.
wow. On this next page, it's got some info thing. It has his birthday. It's 1 week from today, 7/15.
Mark your calendars.
Deku's birthday.
Happy Deku Day.
So, after All Might realizes this, though. He's ready to pass along his power, and he gives him a strand of his hair.
Mm-hmm.
Says, "Eat up."
Exactly. Yeah. Eat up, kid.
Eat this.
Very.
You have to get my DNA somehow. That's all.
Very Sam. Yeah. Oh God. Very Samson from the Bible. Of he's got his strength is in his hair.
Yeah, and you know what? You can tell this was written before COVID because I would never eat someone's hair post-COVID.
It's like pre-COVID. Yeah, Johnny and I were just exchanging strands of hair.
I think we each got handsome.
It's like oh, it's Tuesday. Yep.
Here, here's your handsome pills.
All right,
my handsomes, I get yours.
Exactly. That's unstoppable now. Yeah, exactly. That's why we're seeing peak Johnny right now with the new haircut. But Yo-Yo posted the clip in the chat, and Vic had seen it now and says that sneeze is insane. Also, the emo hair is 10 out of 10.
No, that's no emo hair. That's quarantine hair. Wait, emo hair? I couldn't get a haircut for 3 months. What the hell? No. Just because I worked at Hot Topic 3 different times doesn't mean I was emo. I'm a punk rocker. There's a difference. There's a big difference.
Vic says, sure it is, Johnny.
Okay. But if you are emo, remember, cut across the river, not downstream. It's more effective. Back
to the manga. Chapter number 3. Yo-Yo says, it's just a phase, Vic. Everybody's roasting everybody. So again, we are 3 hours out from the entrance exam, and we've got Deku kind of running on up to UA High School for the entrance examination. Now this one, we've got again for the UA Academy. This is the prospects of basically like early high schooler, late grade schooler kids in the country, basically coming along to kind of have their stab at joining the school to basically be on the fast track road of becoming a professional superhero. So like only the best of the best will get in here, and we kind of see some familiar faces as Deku is kind of walking up to the building. We've got Bakugo, being rude as always, not nice to our boy Deku, and Deku on his first step toward becoming a hero. I really like that panel too. I don't know if you're on that one, but
where he's tripping.
Yeah,
right here.
There we go.
Trip sound effect.
Whoop.
My first step towards becoming a hero.
This is it. But he doesn't hit the ground though, Johnny.
Nope, that's because Floaty Girl over here. Wait, so is this Uravity?
Uravity? I don't know. I don't know if I forget if they ever mentioned her hero name, but yeah.
Yeah, wait, is that who you were cosplaying?
Oh yeah, Vic. Yeah, was that Uravity? Yep, there we go. Just like Vic says, yep, that is Uravity. I guess there we go. We learned the names.
Sweet. I feel weird asking this. Is Vic short for Victor or Victoria? I don't know what's going on now.
Hey man, I can be Uravity. You can be Uravity.
I'm just asking. I'm just asking for clarification.
There's you is in Uravity. That it could be you. It could be you. Uravity. But yeah. So we kind of get a glimpse of her power. Trans Girl Squad over here, says Vic.
That's cool.
And yeah, we get kind of the glimpse at some more quirks in this universe, because Uravity had basically saved him from falling. Didn't really explain why, but we know.
He still fell for her. That's what they're really going for here.
Exactly, because he talked to a girl.
Yeah.
Editor's note: he didn't actually talk. I like that one.
Oh wow. I
Did
didn't
you not
even
notice
notice
that one?
that.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so funny.
Yeah, in the scene before, he's just stammering, saying,
I talked to a girl, and then right down there it says, there's no
didn't actually talk.
That's really funny.
Then in this next scene, we've got Lucio from Overwatch here, just beatboxing and hyping up the crowd. Nobody's willing to give him any business, but we kind of learn the beginning of how the entrance exam goes. They've got the mock cityscape, in which they're going to be planting. It's basically whoever gets the highest score will be ensured that they can go into the school. People with the lowest. Exactly. Oh man.
Yep. I'd love to do that.
Exactly. Yeah. That's a good pastime. But basically, the people with the lowest score will be kicked out of the entrance process. There's going to be bosses scattered throughout, or villains scattered throughout the cityscape. Certain villains will be worth a certain amount of points. The higher the points, the tougher the villain. So this will be kind of an entrance exam to test out their abilities right out the gates. And everybody's kind of working solo on this one too is another important note. So, but yeah, then
I don't know if you get this, but the microphone guy, it just reminds me of the announcer from Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, just because they have microphones.
That's fair. Again, my point of reference for him was Lucio from the video game Overwatch. So maybe that's just me, but
oh, is that what? I didn't know that was a reference. Even I'm sorry.
Yeah, no worries. No, that's fine. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that was just
like,
for
me.
me.
That's the guy's name. I didn't know it was a Japanese name. Okay.
Exactly. Oh, Lucio Uravity. Yeah, that makes sense now. But yeah, we cut to this huge cityscape, which is within the campus grounds. Like the grounds of UA Academy are so big that like they could even afford to have multiple different like fake mocked up cityscapes within it. So
yeah, there's the mock-up cityscape.
Mm-hmm. Bam! It says. And yeah, we see Deku. He's at the same test site as Uravity, the Gravity Girl. We've got Strong Nerd here. I forget this gentleman's name.
With the laser in his stomach?
Oh. No, that guy. F that guy.
Yeah, he's funny in the show. I mean, funny to laugh at.
Yeah. So he always says, which character reminds you of Lucio? Can you pull up a picture or one of the scenes in which he's talking?
Oh, yeah.
Just because I guess we didn't actually show him because Yo-Yo. Wait, Yo-Yo, did you do your homework? Because I was gonna say, I know Yo-Yo mentioned that they were gonna try, or they did some of it. Yeah. Point being, yeah.
Wait, what homework? What homework for what?
This is the homework.
Oh, to read it. Okay.
Exactly.
I meant for school. I'm like, it's summer, Mike. He doesn't have homework.
Nah, man. Every Wednesday on our desk, I want that book report, Yo-Yo. Yo-Yo, who is your favorite student, villain, teacher, quirk? Yo-Yo says, I thought you were not gonna ask. Of course I'm gonna ask. It's due right now. Yeah, exactly.
Dang.
But no, yeah, just razzing Yo-Yo because he mentioned that he was curious to get the book at one of the comic stores, but if you watched yesterday, all you could get is Detective Comics, the trade paperbacks there, or one book of Naruto. So, and these books are kind of similar. So I guess if you read a book of Naruto, it's basically like
you can get the gist.
Exactly. Yeah, you'd follow along. But yeah, so we get to kind of cut back. Yeah, it says he reminds me of Junkrat. Oh, Overwatch. But yeah, they have basically a couple minutes at this cityscape to rack up more or less like a video game as many points as they can by destroying all of the villains that they can kind of find roaming the streets. And a lot more people are more eager than Deku, our quirkless Deku who doesn't know what his ability is or how to manifest it or what to expect. But yeah, everybody kind of scatters out into the cityscape looking for kills. And as Deku is kind of going through, crashing through a building, comes one of these big robotic monsters. He's locked onto Deku. Deku is frozen with fear and shock, not knowing what to do. But our boy Laser Navel kind of slides on in. I don't like this character.
No, that's okay. You don't have to like him. He's not that important.
No, I know, but yeah, just a weird ability, and then yeah, like he's French. Yeah, exactly. So I guess this is Yo-Yo. Speaks French, shoots a laser out of his chest. So there you go. But adieu, he says. Won't we meet again? And Deku is left in shock as 6 minutes remain, and he has at this point 0 points. So he is kind of panicking. Everybody else is kind of like calling out for their points. 28, 45. Time is ticking. Deku is kind of in a panic, completely overwhelmed by everything that's going on around him. And in comes one of these 0 point, what do they call them? Like decoy villains.
Yeah, because there was 4 tiers of villains, one worth 1 point, 2 points, 3 points. The 3 of them, and the kid was like, and this says there's 4 on the thing here. The guy's like, oh yeah, that one, he's not worth any points, but he might just pop up and you gotta get rid of him anyway.
He's big and he's a distraction. Like, you're not getting anything out of him, but like if you're just gonna like let him run amok, he's gonna do some damage.
Yeah, and there he is. He just popped up.
Boom.
Yeah.
Boom. Sorry.
And in his booming, he knocked over some rubble, which ended up crushing our girl, gravity girl over there.
Yep, Yuvity.
And Deku saw that, and he was
It's
like,
bad omen to trip and fall.
yeah, which is what she said to him when she saved him from tripping and falling.
And he's kind of the monster or the robot is kind of going in for basically the kill to kind of like crush Yuvity. And once again, Deku's legs more or less start moving on his own out of instinct. He goes in to try and help. He clench up your butt and let your heart cry out, and he smashes that 0 point monster.
Well, you let your heart cry out, smash. It's in the show, he yells smash as he does this, and it's awesome. That's one of the best scenes too, man. This when he pops out, he saves her. Man, the manga's not doing it enough. Just the show is so badass. Damn, we should do a watch party.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And that is the end of chapter 3. We get a quick 0 point smash, and we see Deku with his kind of withered arm a little bit. His sleeve got like knocked right off with all the force that he used, and bam, we got to see a bit of the One for All power. And then cut to chapter 4, and Deku is just straight free falling from the sky. Yeah, he says, I think Johnny should just do the voice effects when Mike is reading the book. So yeah, if you want to listen what the smash is, some flaps, some throbs. But yeah, they mentioned that he kind of equates it to the fact that he's still a weak vessel. Like he only got these powers again like 3 hours ago from eating All Might's hair. So he didn't know what to expect of this power. His body wasn't ready for it. He's just kind of in a trance, falling down, about to hit the ground when Yuvity again smacks him, and he is floating down to the ground.
Yeah. So her power is that anything she touches has 0 gravity until she claps and allows it to. So yeah, she touched him, caught him, and then let him fall just from like a foot or so off the ground. And he ended up with no points because the last second we could have gotten a point.
Yeah,
he
time's
chose to
out.
save her instead.
He's exhausted.
It's all over.
It's all over.
That was it.
Exactly. Yeah,
and
close
if you don't
the
get
book.
any points, probably not going to get past the entrance exam.
I mean, exactly. Yeah, if he had 0 points after all that time, why would they let him in? He's not a hero. All he did was waste time.
And then even I can't think of his name with the engine legs. I think it is.
Yeah, that's a son.
Yeah, he notices that he's like, man, that kid didn't hesitate. He starts thinking. He's like, huh, interesting. They put us in this situation.
Mm-hmm.
It's an exam, and there's a thing with no points. Like, why would they do that? And he's onto something, and they explain.
Foreshadowing, but no time for that. We've got Haribo candies for everybody, Johnny.
Yeah.
Speaking of I guess localization and the name dropping of different corporations, stuff like that. Yeah, just and in this case I pictured her because it's my favorite Haribo candies, gummy bears. Just her. I pictured Granny just kind of going around tossing gummy bears in everybody's hand, and that would make me feel better. I don't know about you, Johnny, but
I think it would be. I think she's got some health stuff in those Haribo candies, is my opinion.
they're laced with vitamins.
Her thing is she can heal people with kissing. That's what her quirk is.
Exactly.
She's the nurse lady,
so
recovery girl, the youthful heroine.
Yeah, we always like to think that that's our quirks. Yeah, her quirk is super healing factor. Vic says Ida is such a fun character. Yeah, Yo-Yo says Vic did her homework. Vic says I always do my homework. And Yo-Yo says, can I copy yours for next week, please? Yo-Yo, you had the whole week. You're the one that suggested this too. You're supposed to know who Granny is and what their abilities are. But yeah, cut to 1 week later. Deku back at home, kind of in a trance at all that happened, knowing that he's waiting on basically a letter from the school to kind of let him know what the result was. It's almost like an entrance exam to college or something like that. Like you write the essay and you're kind of waiting to see do they accept you or not. And he's just kind of 1,000-yard stare for that week, but eventually it's here. and the UA high school letter shows up at their doorstep. And we get to kind of see, he goes to his room and opens it up, and we see the projection of All Might there, which I'm a fan of All Might in the suit. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
That's a look that I could definitely get behind, his sweet pinstripe suit. But yeah, we learned that even if you pass the written exam, getting 0 points in the practical would result in a failure. But somebody came in to speak up on his behalf. It was Yuvity who basically told the administration that Deku saved him or saved her, and she wants to give some of her points to him as part of that. And this is where it's revealed that they weren't just going for villain points; they were also going for rescue points, for doing the right thing, helping people out. So Deku actually got points for that. So he got 60 points for that, and he will be admitted into. Vic says she's such a sweet bean. Yeah, I could dig. Just not on my list though of favorite students, but I like. Yeah, Uraraka. We'll stick with Gravity Girl. A little bit easier to pronounce.
But yeah, when she went in to talk on his behalf, they had it on camera, and she, basically the teacher was like, "Nope, you can't give him any of your points, but don't worry." And then All Might explains to him that yes, there was all those villain points, but we took notice that you saved somebody.
Exactly,
and what kind of hero course would we be if we didn't admit people who displayed heroic acts?
Exactly. Yeah. So
and again, that's the best scene of season 1 in the anime. It's so emotional, and it just doesn't capture it in the book. It's still good.
I was gonna say, I feel like we're like walking back your review that you like this at some point.
No, I would just say if this gets a 10 out of 10, the show gets like an 11 out of 10. That's how I would put it. It's just great.
But yeah, and then so we find out that he was admitted to it. That he got enough points to pass. He got the lowest score in his grade, but he still made it. He made the cut. So he is going to be admitted into the UA. So the next night he kind of meets with All Might, Small Might, and they kind of discuss the power once more. And All Might explains kind of the way in which he has to kind of try and control his abilities. He can't just be constantly giving it all. He's got to regulate the amount of power that he's putting out, and that'll help him to kind of be able to use his powers without like making himself pass out and need to go to the nurse's office more or less. So
yeah, and he was all discouraged that he didn't know how to use it, and All Might's like, well, if you grew a tail, you wouldn't know how to use it today. You need to practice.
Exactly. Yeah.
I was like, Goku.
And speaking of a sweet bean, when bees. When Deku is going off to his first day at high school, I don't know, the look on his mother's face. I always like this little panel here, but she also looks like a little bean there too. So
yeah, she's getting around.
Such a sweet bean.
Here it is. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, we talked about this too. Yeah.
Only one. We're gonna make note of this, people.
Yeah. Write it down.
I'm gonna have you help me do some math here. We're just gonna. Okay. Only 1 in 300 applicants gets in each year or fewer. This place is huge. Only 36 students to a grade, divided into 2 classes of 18, which is 1A and 1B. So 1A and 1B are 2 classes of 18. Just going to have you guys remember that. That's all I'm going to say for now.
Charlie in the chat. Bees?
Bees.
I like to think that like Charlie was no longer paying attention, but he just hears bees and his ears perk up.
That's right.
And yeah, you're not wrong, Vic. She is shaped like a friend. Yeah, so yeah, 1 in 100. Yeah, because we were basically, Johnny and I were talking about the fact that like it seemed like there were too many kids in this class, and it didn't really add up. Maybe it's an oversight, or maybe we're.
Because later on they mentioned there's 20 kids in the class.
Yeah, and we even see that. Yeah, like we see like the kind of the points distribution and all that.
But what I was saying to him, what I think it is I think that the chick whose name I can't remember, it starts with a Y, who can create objects. Her and Todoroki, who's the fire ice dude, they skipped the entrance exam and were referrals. They were the only 2. So I think that's where the 2 extra people come in.
That would make sense.
And he was referring to only 18 people get in via the exam. But if that's not it, then I don't know what the hell they messed that up for.
Yeah. I mean, worst case, a small oversight, but yeah. Yeah, Vic says, like in America, the budget cuts mean larger class sizes. So yeah. Troy says 16 of them died on their way back to their home planet. That's a great quirk to be Poochie. My quirk is that when I'm not on screen, everybody asks where I am.
Meep? Don't you mean meep meep? No, I only recorded it once and they doubled it in the soundtrack. Cheap bastards. It doesn't count if it's a quote. And
Exactly. Yeah.
really a swear.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's, no one's ears burned.
Welcome to our Simpsons.
Yeah, those are Simpsons quotes,
Yeah,
by the way.
our Simpsons stream. But yeah, we get to see the homeroom class of 1A.
Remember A1 steak sauce?
Yes, it still exists.
Yeah, it's good stuff. We got class 1A. I like
You
that.
say remember like it disappeared. Like, oh man, remember in the heady days of 2010 back when A1 was still a thing.
Yeah, what's wrong with that? Remember Smoking Joe's?
Vic says I'll never forget A1.
There you go. Remember Smoking Joe's? Oh, you know why? Because it's old and it's not a thing anymore. So there you go. Now you got to remember something.
Remember this thing that you never knew. But yeah, we get to see homeroom teacher Shota Aizawa, aka the Eraser. What was it, Eraserhead? Yeah, just like the Lynch movie. But yeah, we kind of get to see a bit more of the class and basically what the criteria is going to be. Charlie says, remember green ketchup? I do. I used to have that in the purple
Yes.
ketchup.
Do you remember the butter? There was purple or pink and blue liquid butter that they had for a while.
That I don't remember. That I don't want. I don't know why I'm fine with like different colored ketchup, but butter seems like that's thrown me off. But yeah, we get to see that the way in which they'll test their quirks now is basically a gym class. But normally in their gym classes in grade school, it was basically no quirks allowed. You had to kind of do whatever your natural physical ability was. But in this case, they're kind of removing that restrictions. And, if you want to throw a softball, use whatever quirk you've got to kind of throw it as far or as hard as you can. So now they're going to test their limits based off of that and to, again, weed out at this point whoever has the lowest score is going to get weeded out of the class. So once again, they make it a competition and they get to show off whatever their most powerful abilities are. Yo-Yo says he does not remember green ketchup. He must be too young. Wait, never mind. Me and Johnny are the same age of 20. So
Oh,
flattery gets you everywhere, Yo-Yo.
thank you, Yo-Yo.
But yeah, the first test is basically chucking a softball, shot put style here. Whoever gets it the furthest, you're going to get high marks. Getting it the lowest is, going to result in getting expelled. We get to find out from Eraserhead himself that whoever's the lowest score will be judged hopeless and expelled from UA. So the stakes are already high, Johnny. On day
You should
one.
use A1 with your steaks.
Highest stakes pitches, yeah.
What?
Charlie says Johnny's quirk is that he's 20. Just forever 20, baby.
Yeah, like that store, Forever 21, but
Exactly.
not Forever 20.
Exactly, yeah, 1 year younger.
The store got nothing on me.
But yeah, next chapter again is more just kind of showing off some more of the students, their quirks. They're seeing who could run the fastest. We get the first glimpse of best girl, Suyu, Isuyi. I'm again way butchering that. Frog Girl. I feel like I might have to dip into here now, going over some of my favorite students here because these next few chapters, like we get to see a lot more of the homeroom class.
Oh, there she is.
Yeah, just if you want to show, just I love just that like.
This one?
Yeah, wait,
you have a
right
different
right
one?
below it's where like they're talking about like her record. Yeah, there we go. Just peeking in, saying hi.
She's basically Toad from X-Men,
Yeah,
but cooler.
but a girl and like just
And not Darth Maul.
it seems monotone again. Like maybe not actually maybe not actually seeing the anime. Like I don't really get to hear tone of voice and stuff like that. But in her dialogue, I always took it as like very kind of matter of fact and monotone.
Yes.
But I definitely dig it. Yeah, Froppy says Vix. Yeah, with the hearts. That was basically me when I saw it too. Which So I've got normally I have a pin every time we do a stream here. This time I'm reviving this one because my Frappy pin didn't come in time. God damn it, Corona! Like I ordered one because I was gonna be wearing that as my hell yeah. Maybe I'll show it off next time. But so I revived it this time. My anime was a mistake pin that I've got here. There we go. Oh yeah, that's what I like to see. Because you know what, you're not wrong. But I'll show off the sweet Frappy pin that I've got next time. But yeah, thanks Miyazaki. But yeah, we get to see, in this chapter, test trials of everybody's kind of abilities. Naturally, Deku is, he's kind of scared at this point to use his abilities. He doesn't know how to actually kind of control it yet. So he's, trying to hold back and regulate it. But he's not getting very many points as everything kind of goes by. So it comes down to the last act of whoever could throw a softball more or less the furthest. Our girl, Gravity Girl, gets infinite distance because she just merely taps it and just kind of like floats off, indefinitely in space.
Yeah, I love that.
But
There's actually that shot of the machine where it says infinity on it. I can't find it. Oh, here's that list though. Wait, yeah, see, 20 names. You
exactly. Yeah.
20. Just like my
explain this. Yeah.
Explain 18 this. 18 kids to a class. Here's 20.
How come 20? Charlie says Mike's quirk is that he pretends to hate things he likes. I never pretended to hate this, and I certainly don't pretend to hate
What's a
Frappy.
guilty pleasure of yours?
Well, apparently Frappy. I don't know. Bad music, I guess.
Yeah, but what? Like a specific song. You can't just say bad music.
Is Doja Cat bad? No, Doja Cat's good. Do you know who that is?
No, I don't.
Exactly. I mean, the chat Doja Cat. I don't know. I'll have to think. I don't really watch too many animes. I don't know. I'll have to come back to you on that one. I don't know. Do you have any guilty pleasures?
Yeah, ironically, the only emo song I like, because I'm not emo, I don't like emo music, but I do love I'm Not Okay by My Chemical Romance. I will karaoke that song if ever given the chance. I love that song endlessly. It's fantastic.
Oh, what's the name of the song that called me on her phone and touched herself? That's a good emo song. Yeah, a little.
I don't know that. See, I don't even know that one.
Plus,
emo music.
Exactly. Yeah, but that one is.
G.G. Allen.
That is not a guilty pleasure. That's straight up pleasure. God, Vic putting me on blast here. Yeah, so Vic says, you know who Doja Cat is, but you don't know who Meg Thee Stallion is. I had no clue who Meg Thee Stallion was. I think it was Christina who mentioned that, and I had no clue who it was. Yo-Tun says karaoke stream with people singing on Discord. I don't know if our ears are ready for that. I'm certainly off key. I don't know about you, Johnny, but
I play music, dog. I could sing.
All right, fine. So
I'd be better with a guitar in my hand.
There we go.
Be better.
A nice acoustic. Man, one of these days we're just gonna have to have a fire kind of going in the background here and just some campfire songs with
s'mores. S'more what I just got here.
Vic, who is it Doja or yeah, I think it is Doja. Yeah, Doja has a partnership with Crunchyroll and will be making a clothing line with them. So there you go. That's how you know rap plus anime.
Man, I want a Crunchyroll right now.
I don't think there's anybody that's opened that this late. I don't think.
No one I would trust this late.
Oh, Vic says Meg Thee Stallion is the one who's got the clothing line. Yo-Yo says me and Johnny will have a rap battle. Last stream he said he was able to rap.
I can do that Alphabet Heroic song, dog. You have no idea.
That's the greatest quirk.
It is. You have no idea. I'm gonna do it and y'all will be like jaw dropped.
And speaking of jaw dropping, in the last event here, Deku finally harnesses his power to smash and chuck that ball as far as he can.
Well, because he channels all the power into his finger instead of letting it blow through his arm. I like that close up they do of that actually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So he's got the bruised and kind of bloody finger.
Yeah. So it because Eraserhead's kind of talking crap to him, and he's like, "You can't even control your quirk. You think you're gonna be a hero?" And he's like, "I'll just let you go fail this on your own. Go ahead." And Deku's like, "Okay," and throws the ball just with his finger, and it goes over 700 yards, I think,
Mm-hmm.
or meters.
Yeah.
Because this is not America, so they use real measurements.
Actual units of measurement.
Yeah. I can admit that we're the ones behind on that.
Also, speaking of behind, Johnny, we got 30 minutes left, and we are at chapter 7 of 26. So we can either speed through this or.
Yeah, because I have to leave by 10 o'clock.
Okay, yeah, no worries.
Yeah. So
Yeah, we'll skim through. I guess any other main story points that you want to hit before that? Yeah, Vic says speed round. Any other?
out of this,
Yeah.
no.
just rip up that book. We're done here. Yeah, we get more.
We've analyzed it for an hour.
Exactly. Yeah. We get to see. I think one of the cooler parts at the end of that volume, the last chapter, is we get to see the costumes that were made.
Oh yeah, shoot! I wanted to show that panel because I was talking about Bakugo's
Exactly,
outfit.
yeah.
That's the best shot of it, actually, probably in the whole book. It's right here at the end. I got it. Hell yeah, dude!
There it is.
Good old grenade
Check out those
hands.
fists.
Granado, as we call them.
That's his name in Japanese. Also, speaking of good panels, next page, we got the Sweet Bean and Frog Wife right here.
Sweet beans
That's-
are made
that's
of
all you need.
these.
But yeah, book 2. I guess any standout ones. We get to see some villains, which is always fun.
For the second book?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we can start from the beginning. And
I was
just jump
gonna
over real quick.
say yeah.
All right, so it starts out with like the next challenge or the next day of school. It's going to be a challenge led by All Might, and basically everybody's split up into groups of 2, and then they're going to go up against each other. And one group is going to be heroes, one group is going to be villains.
Yeah.
And the first round, Deku gets paired up with Gravity Girl.
Yep. Naturally.
Bakugo gets matched up with Ida, and so Ida and Bakugo are the villains. So they end up getting into a physical alteration between Bakugo and Deku, to which Deku schools him a few different times, which really pisses off Bakugo even more.
Just enrages
Steve
the
Brown's
beast.
already,
Yeah.
like,
Oh hell yeah.
chunking away
Exactly.
through the
Yeah.
book.
Exactly. We're halfway done, man. Yeah.
Well, Gravity Girl goes up and tries to. There's like a nuclear rocket, and so they have to get control of the rocket, or the villain.
Yeah, it's like
So-
it's like a high stakes game of like capture the flag more or less, or like
Yeah, it
like
is, yeah.
paintballing.
And so Deku ends up getting real serious with. Bakugo gets real serious with Deku and
Yeah.
like basically blasts a hole in the building, trying to like mess with them.
Yeah, we get to find out his actual power, which is like his sweat is like nitroglycerin, and
Yeah,
as it
it's
condenses, he gets like he fires off like what could have been fatal like explosion, and like
Yeah.
almost got disqualified, but
And then All Might allows it to keep going because he's like, this is going to be better for
let them settle it out. Yeah, exactly.
yeah, for like his development,
Mhm.
basically. And so it all culminates in like they're about to go. Deku and Bakugo are about to go head to head on a throw. He's about to Detroit smash him. He's about to nitroglycerize him.
Exactly. Yeah.
And at the last second, you can kind of see it here. Instead of like hitting Bakugo, he shoots his blast up and just absorbs Bakugo's hit. And it messes up the floor of the place above, which is where Gravity Girl is.
Mhm.
And because of this mess, she's able to grab onto the nuclear rocket warhead, more or less. And so the hero team wins! And Bakugo is like, holy crap, I just lost to Deku.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so All Might realizes that he's going to have to take Bakugo under his wing a little bit more because he's really powerful, but he's really fragile. He's got a lot to learn, all this stuff. So then they
anger
kind
management
of-
issues. Yeah, we
we get our
kind of
first
get.
glimpse of Todoroki.
I was gonna say like Todoroki is probably the other main thing in this section too. Is
And what's different in this first book, I noticed. Like the ice is more prominent.
okay. Oh yeah, because he's someone that like looks he has burn marks on his face, right?
Oh yeah, and this you're right. He's supposed to have the burn marks on that.
Yeah,
side.
so I guess he's got the
but he's
ice on
originally
there.
got ice on him.
But I guess
which is
maybe he
weird.
fluctuates because again his thing is he basically can control fire and ice,
Yeah,
which is pretty sweet.
there he is. He's like
but
half ice, half
yeah,
fire.
he is the other recommended kid that basically got kind of like grandfathered in here because he was just too good, too OP. We're in different leagues, he even says, because he handily passes that test of that, and we get to see some other classmates kind of going at it, and more tension between Deku and Baku of how dare you beat me and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, and Deku tells him, which he shouldn't have done, and he's not supposed to tell anything about the court to anybody, but he does tell Bakugo that he got it from somebody else.
Mhm.
And luckily, Bakugo doesn't believe him. He thinks he's mocking him.
Yeah, because
Because later on we find out that All Might was like, hey, don't tell people that
Exactly,
because it can ruin everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get one of my favorite shots of the whole everything we've read, like
Is it the
this
villains?
first glimpse of the villains.
Hell yeah.
Dude, they're so
That's the
badass.
fucking mod squad right there. I'm a big
And
fan.
they're plotting there. You know, they're
Exactly, yeah.
wondering what would happen if villains killed the symbol of peace.
Mm-hmm. It's a good question. Very good
Oh,
question.
see, yeah, this is what he actually looks like in the show the whole time.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
got
like
the
he's
burn
got-
mark
yeah.
on that side instead of being half ice. So I think that was exclusive to the first few pages of the manga
Interesting, yeah.
because I don't recall that in the show. Yeah, because when I was reading through this earlier, I'm like, is that how he looks in the manga? And then they change it up. I think the next time we see him,
If only it was in color, then we'd know.
we would know.
And then, yeah, this next one pretty quick. Media are trying to get in to try and find out more about All Might's there. Eventually the press kind of breaks through. It triggers an alarm. People panic. But class president Ida, what was his name? Ida springs to action and kind of helps calm down the situation and kind of elevates himself a little bit in the eyes of a lot of his classmates.
I remember that feeling like it was a filler episode. Because that's like an
Yeah.
entire episode.
Yeah, exactly. That's basically it, just to the punchline of what is it? Exit.
Yeah,
exit,
well, they
exit
do
sign. Yeah.
they do a vote to elect a class president. Everyone votes for Deku because of his power, and then the whole media thing happens, and everyone kind of sees like, hey, maybe Ida should actually
Exactly,
be the leader
yeah.
because he actually took leadership.
Mhm.
And so at the end of it, Deku was like, I'm going to give you the role of president of the class, which is a big deal in this. It's a big deal.
Yeah. It comes into play later.
Yeah.
Yo-Yo mentions that Fire and Ice Boy looks like Zuko from Avatar. He's the one that,
I
like
don't know
Fire,
that.
Fire Nation guy. I never watched Avatar either, but I know he's got that like spot on his eye.
James Cameron movie, right?
Exactly. Yeah, it's my favorite.
Second highest grossing movie ever. Not first anymore, baby.
Next chapter, we get to find out that much like the other training, we get to see the rescue side because it's not all battling villains. As a hero, sometimes you've got to rescue civilians. Also, are you on the bus? Can you go to the bus scene? It's got a good frog shot.
Yeah.
There we go. A lot of good frog faces on there. There we go.
And now
Highlighted
highlight
of the chapter right there. But yeah, I like that they're just like Raz and Bakugo. It's so good
They're
because
like, yeah, you're. And he calls the French dude Mr. Vocabulary because he like says some stuff to him.
the French guy's the worst.
Yeah, he is.
Hear me.
But yeah,
hear me,
here's the rescue place they're going to be working at. Like, that's kind of cool that they have all these different
Yeah,
zones.
I kind of dug 13, who is kind of like the teacher in charge of this zone. Like his abilities, he's like basically a spaceman who can manipulate gravity with like black holes and stuff like that to like suck people into it. But he also says, like it's a power that could kill, but if you could manage your powers, you could use it for good. And he ends up becoming like one of the heroes that saves like the most people just because he's able to use his powers in the correct way. So.
Damn. And then as they're explaining what's going to be happening, that they're all going to be in different situations to save people, something happens, and there's just a beautiful splash page here. A little vortex starts forming.
Who's
And
this
then-
fella?
Hand face here. Shigaraki. I can't remember how it's pronounced. They say it. I keep wanting to say Todoroki, but it's the other
Mhm.
guy. And then, out of that, like, vortex or
Hell yeah.
teleportation, all these villains.
Bad boys come through.
Man. Those 2 or 3 episodes that cover this until the end of the fight
I was gonna say,
are
like,
some of the best anime episodes I've ever seen. They're so phenomenal.
I was gonna say, I like these scenes, but also because I like these villains and like some of the scenes that were going on. So
The fight with All Might, and it's just it's way longer than it is in here, and it's so much better.
real quick, Yo-Yo is saying back with Froppy on the bus. Imagine someone staring at you like that. Vic says, "I wish." I second that too. Although at the same time, now cut to the hand guy and imagine somebody looking at you like that. That I do not wish. Just peeping at me through the void. Yeah, I said, "Wah!"
No peeking.
Exactly. Yeah, Yo-Yo says, find someone who looks at you the same way Froggy looks at everything. I wholeheartedly agree.
Wait, who said that?
Yo-Yo.
You're on fire tonight.
Frog Girl
Really
is best
funny.
girl. Prove me wrong. But yeah, so this is where we see the villains have invaded UA on their quest to basically kill All Might. The thing was they were expecting that he would be here during this training regiment, and he would have, but he had used his powers earlier in the day trying to help people. So he was basically kind of on like a little reprieve, trying to regain his abilities. So he was not at the actual rescue zone training exercise. So they kind of miscalculated. They weren't aware of that. But while they're here, they figure, well, what better way to bring out All Might than to kind of, spill some kid blood.
A la Anakin Skywalker.
Exactly, yeah.
That's how you become a Sith Lord.
Vic says, hey, someone is into hand-face man, and I guess you're not wrong.
Wait, real quick about the Anakin Skywalker thing. Do you ever see someone there's those like honest trailers and someone like spliced? It's so funny because I never noticed until they spliced it. Like in one scene where he's like, when he cuts Mace Windu's arm off, he's like, "We cannot kill. It's not the Jedi way." And then like 15 minutes later, it's like him lighting the lightsaber to kill young Waynes. It's like, come on, Lucas, that's such lazy writing, George.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Anyways, back to my hero. I'm sorry.
No, you're not wrong.
But so they all start attacking, and this is when this is like the first time we see one of the pro heroes start to really like kick ass.
Eraserhead kind of steps in because he's the teacher that was in charge there. We knew his powers earlier on was he can nullify people's quirks by staring at them, but it's only until as long as he's not blinking. So if he keeps direct eye contact with that, he can nullify your abilities. And he has these special goggles where you can't really see where he's looking. So I don't know why he's not just wearing sunglasses. He's got some weird Kanye West vertical shutter shades.
All right, because I'm going to tell you why, man.
Exactly.
Because I do have shades, and whenever I'm fighting villains, if I
Hell
lift
yeah.
my head too fast to use my quirk, they might fly off. But if there's goggles, that's not a possibility.
But just sun goggles, though. I'm saying, why does he need these actual
Because then you look like a librarian. Okay, and if you have goggles, you look like an athlete like Michael Phelps.
To be very fine.
He's the best Olympian of all time.
Yo-Yo's got a point. It's called fashion, Mike.
And Eraserhead has an understanding of that.
I was gonna say, Vic followed up with Eraserhead is the paragon of style. All right, you're not fine. You've called me out. I don't know what I'm talking about. He's styling at everybody.
Trust the guy who wears his sunglasses inside. Okay?
Exactly. Yeah, that's a trust
and why
for
I wear
man.
my sunglasses at night? Because my future's looking bright.
What about in the morning, though?
I'm usually sleeping. That was funny.
I got to rest up for the future, man.
That's right. Oh, wow. Oh, man. Next time I sleep in, that's what I'm going to say.
Getting ready for the future,
I wish I had
man.
a job that started before, we don't open until noon. Man, when I worked at Starbucks, I was late a lot because it'd be 5 in the morning. And I was like,
resting up for my future.
Who's making me coffee if I'm getting up at 5 in the morning to make you coffee?
Who watches The Watchmen? But
I wish I had that on the apron. Who makes coffees for the coffee makers?
Exactly, yeah.
That's what it would say. We're not gonna get through that third book tonight.
I was gonna say we got to speed run this. Terrorist attack in the rescue zone. Froppy being amazing.
Vader's Luke's father.
Exactly, yeah. Oh, my boy, Miniton. We didn't. The quote that I had at the start of this of this episode. My boy Miniton. I kind of dug him a little bit. He looks so stupid. His abilities. He throws
really
rubber balls. Yeah. He's a pervert, so I don't know.
He is, because he's obsessed with this girl, and I don't like it because I'm obsessed with her. So I'm only one of us can have her. And
that's fine. I mean, if he was obsessed with Froppy, then I would say, I think Miniton is my, my self-insert in here. Useless, pervert, likes Froppy, can't go wrong. Throws rubber balls, I guess. I don't know. I guess it loses the thread there, but...
It's really sticky. If I'm feeling good, it'll stick there all day. A new one will grow in the old one's place, but if I take too many, it'll start bleeding. They'll bounce off my own body without sticking to me.
It's okay.
That's the one.
Johnny wasn't just going off on his own there. That was a quote from the book.
It was? I was just talking. Is that really in the book?
Weird.
Verbatim? That is strange. I guess I do have more in common with this guy than I thought.
Exactly, yeah. Oh no, Vic says Grapehead was a sin. You're probably not wrong. Stupid. Yeah, Yo-Yo, let's not take that out of context, he says.
What?
Oh, hell yeah, wait. Go to the end of this chapter. We've got Froppy in winter clothes.
Wait, hold on. Just real quick, Froppy saving the scene. Yeah,
Naturally,
I'm not trying to jump aboard your train, but
exactly.
I totally dig Froppy too. Remember I said she was the cool toad.
Stay in your lane, Johnny.
No, but I can shoot respect for my lane. I'm over here with my girl Yosa, whatever, Yodika. What's her name? I'm finding her. Saw her a minute ago. Come on, she was
Your dreams don't count.
There she is.
I was gonna say in a later chapter you get some fan service with her, but Froppy keeping it pure at the end of the chapter. I like this little the splash page because at the end of every chapter we get kind of a little follow up about the characters, usually about their quirks, but also more or less edited. Get that one out of there. That's so bad.
That is terrible. What is that? I didn't even see this.
Here, put it up to the camera more, just so because I know at least Yo-Yo hasn't seen it.
That's old English books. This is an orphan. You look an orphan.
They say that is looking fashionable. So if that is what fashion is, count me out, Vic and Yo-Yo. I do not agree by that. Fashion is is Froppy in her winter cloak.
Oh yeah, here's that thing you were talking about. Yaya Rosie, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's a quick bit of almost fan service. Thank God for that word bubble.
Yeah.
Keeping this PG-13.
That's right.
But yeah, they continue. Everybody was scattered to the wind in this rescue scene. Vic says in reference to Momo, also her insane knowledge of science. Momo is so cool. Yeah, because I thought she actually did have a pretty cool quirk of she could basically create any non-organic items as long as she knows the chemical makeup of it. I think it was so she's really smart because she has to know if she wants to make in that case a 1 millimeter thick tarp more or less she would have to know what the chemical makeup of it was to actually be able to physically manifest it, which was a pretty neat idea that I don't think I've really seen before, or at least explained in that manner. So
yeah, I agree. Anyway, I have a real quick idea.
Sure.
Just a thought. Maybe we should wrap this book up because maybe we should just start off Tuesday and do a quick 20-minute thing.
Sure. Yeah, I was gonna say I know we're cutting it down real quick. How about this? One more thing too. Favorite student, Johnny. I guess it could be Momo too.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna go with her. No, it's Todoroki or Bakugo. They're badass. Hyda's cool too. See, they're so compelling.
Exactly,
a lot of them, they're awesome.
I was gonna say you also have the benefit of I think a little bit more time with them in the anime. I assume they get to flesh them out a bit more.
I'm gonna go with Todoroki because he has the half and half hair like I used to have, which is a punk rock thing, not emo thing.
Vic,
Todoroki is punk rock.
Get it right. My favorite student I had.
Also, we don't get to that. He's rebellious against his dad. Who's your favorite?
Ones I had written down here. I had Miniton for a little bit, and then I'm like, yeah, he's kind of annoying. Frog Girl and Raven Boy. The best was we didn't show it, but there's a panel in the heroes versus villains scene. Frog Girl and Raven Boy are on the same team. It's like they knew my stand-in of Raven Boy with Frog Girl. It was magical. Favorite teacher?
Eraserhead.
Eraserhead? Yeah, I dug him too, but that was until at the end of this, spoiler alerts, when the villains are kind of scared away, we get to see more teachers. There was a fucking cool... There was a freaking cool cowboy.
Where's the swear jar, Mike? Drop in your quarters.
Where's
we already used it up today. Or do we each get one? We each get one.
Exactly, yeah, here you go. This one's for the swear jar. Just,
see you later, George.
Exactly, yeah, maybe next time. There's a freaking cool cowboy dude that kind of comes out of nowhere.
Yes, he is cool.
I liked him. We didn't get too much time with him, but the short time we did, I thought he was awesome. Favorite villain?
Shogoroki or whatever it's named to me with the hand face.
Hand face guy, yeah.
Buy a toy of him tonight.
I wrote down Void guy, the cool guy who could teleport. He was just a cloud of smoke that could teleport dudes around. I thought he was pretty neat.
Also cool.
And then favorite quirk.
You know what? I'm going to go with Todoroki's again because rarely do you see someone have both powers.
I was going to say.
You got Pyro, you got Iceman.
We met on this one too of, I thought, not just because he is at least so far kind of objectively one of the most OP of the kids. I just kind of like the idea of having the fire and ice, and he definitely makes good use of it. So.
Well, and I'm trying to think if they waited to dive into this in the anime, but he actually refuses to use the fire side of him. He's only used ice.
Yeah, he's mostly using the ice stuff, yeah.
He doesn't use any fire, and they eventually explain why. I mean, I don't know if that's spoilers or not.
maybe next time we'll get into that
We
a
should,
bit.
yeah, we got a minute.
Yeah, so we got a couple minutes left here. So as always, we finished this up for this week. John and I seem to like it. So next week, we have to choose a book.
Yes.
So real quick here, I'll give a suggestion. John will give a suggestion. Anybody in the chat, any kind of graphic novel, comic book series, whatever, like, a shorter read, like in the same way if you want to do something like a longer Detective Comics run, like, we'll do a small chunk, same with like manga. We usually did like the first 3 or so volumes, depending. I will suggest X-Men Grand Design, which is basically an X-Men, a recap of basically kind of the entire X-Men history, right? In terms of comics, starting from the beginning, done by Ed Piskers. Yeah, Ed Pisker. Yo-Yo, I'm sorry, we cannot do that. He says lookers. That is definitely an adult. It's got to keep it PG, Yo-Yo.
I'm only 20 years old. If I was 21,
exactly,
in America, that stuff's not legal.
You got to be this tall to ride the lookers train.
Come with my hair higher.
Exactly, yeah, a little bit taller. So yeah, I would suggest that because, like, honestly, like, I know that you're one huge on X-Men. I'm not as well versed. I think it's actually a pretty cool one. The art is amazing. Like, I'm a fan of it. Like, he also did Hip Hop Family Tree, which I was reading not too long ago, and it's actually really, really solid. But he basically kind of like recaps the history of the X-Men comics from the beginning, and it's a cool, like, almost like Wikipedia, like, intro into X-Men. So I feel like that would be a cool way to start off us dipping in later to like certain X-Men storylines. So I suggest that one.
The single issue covers to all. Whoops.
Low battery.
Low battery. To all the X-Men Grand Designs by Ed Piskor, and then I got one. Actually, this is like, oh my god. I wish there was a print of this artwork that he did.
Oh hell yeah!
That's badass.
Silver Samurai and Wolverine.
Yeah, I've actually got the Magneto one too right here. Oh, this is the cover that I was telling you about that I pulled up earlier. Remember? Yeah, like.
Oh hell yeah!
So Ed Piskor's art is.
All right, Yo-Yo seems to be, I think, leaning into that. He says, I don't know too much about that either, but I could always get to know more of it. So,
yeah.
Yo-Yo, if that's dropping your vote for lookers towards X-Men, I'll definitely accept that. Vic, Charles, anybody else? And then also, I'd say, Johnny, if you had a suggestion too, maybe we could.
I'm cool with X-Men Grand Design.
There we go. Vic also says, I always love more X-Men. So, cool. There we go. That's pretty cut and dry. So we'll do. That one, Grand Design, is actually kind of broken into, it's 3 different series. We're just going to do the first one. Yeah. That covers, what was it? It was basically like base X-Men until all the way up until like Uncanny, you said? Or
yeah, so it covers everything before Johnny Says X-Men #1.
Okay.
Which is 1 through 66.
There we go.
The 67 through 93 are reprints, and then it kicks back up at 94, but that would be where second Genesis starts.
There we go. So there you have it. So My Hero Academia, yeah, well, probably on Tuesday we can try and wrap up more of the recap of it if people want.
So the first half of that 3rd volume is like...
Yeah, there's some neat stuff. Yeah, worst case, we'll do like a quick little recap of that. And then, yeah, for next week, do Yo-Yo, this time we need the homework on my desk. No more excuses. Your dog can only eat your computer so many times before you either have to like get a better computer or get rid of that dog. Yeah, so we're gonna read X-Men Grand Design by Ed Piskor. I'm gonna say this wrong every time until I write it down.
Give you the look every time you do.
Exactly. Give me the old Piskor look. Yeah, there it is. You hate to see that. But yeah, we'll cut it short because our boy Johnny Boy's got to get going. So as always, thanks everybody for coming on out. We had a great time. Enjoyed My Hero Academia. Maybe by then I'll have my Froppy pin too, so that'll be fun.
I'll show off my figures when I get those in because I'm going to order those.
Yo-Yo messaged me on Discord. He says, how am I able to find a good way to do my homework? I'm sure we could help you out there, Yo-Yo, so don't worry. Pastimes.net/Discord, or pastimes.net/social. On there, we've got the link to the Discord. You can join us there. I'll post what the homework is as a reminder. You can also chat with us too. But yeah, thanks everybody for coming on out. And remember, not all heroes wear capes.